May 2nd, 2005. James Thomas Green. And I think I may be about to become an orphan. Dad is very sick. He's in the hospital. He's been in the hospital many times before. He's been very sick many times before. But this time seems different. Doctor told me last night that Dad is in the final stages of COPD, final stages of lung disease, final stages of cardiac arrest or cardiac failure. He's got pneumonia in one lung. He's been on a CPAP machine most of the last 24 hours. He can't seem to catch his breath. And they say if he ever has to go on a ventilator, there's probably no bringing him back. He's never going to get off it. And he won't be on it for long because he'll probably die soon afterwards. Norman's won't settle down for some reason. So it's right now, I guess, about 6 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I just haven't been able to fall asleep. I'm in bed and I just thought I should record my thoughts while I can. I keep looking around the house and realizing that no matter what else happens, even if Dad manages to live for a few days, or even best case scenario is he gets well enough to go back to the nursing home, he's never coming home. He's never going to be in this house again. We're never going to sit and watch TV together in this house. He's never going to see Norman again. He's never going to see the cats again. Dad and I are never going to get in the car and drive away. Just drive for miles, all day long, through the countryside, looking at things, looking at the sights, talking. Talk, talk, talk. I've been crying. Comes in bursts. I have to struggle to control myself. I'll probably try to get a few hours sleep, if I can sleep, and then go back and try to be with Dad for a while. I want to be there when he dies. I want to be there and have him know that I'm there. We took care of him for so long. He took care of me. We had so many adventures. Still, he's 88. He just had what is probably his last birthday. Sooner or later, everyone will have a last birthday. And maybe they don't realize it at the time, but that's their last birthday. Maybe I've had my last birthday. But at 88, even if he never sees another birthday to 89, he's lived a long life. He's a great grandfather. He's been a lot to a lot of people. So it's not the greatest tragedy on earth that he dies at 88. But I don't want him to go. called my sister, told her she should get over here as quickly as she can. I called my brother, told him that it doesn't look good. There's no way he's... Best case scenario is he goes to the nursing home for a little while. But, I mean, unless things are totally... He has a totally miraculous recovery, which isn't likely. He's probably going to be gone, from what the doctor said, within days, maybe weeks. Stretching it, maybe a month or so. But it could be any moment. I mean, for all I know, I'll get a phone call in the next 2 minutes telling me he's gone. He had been a, what they call a full code. Do everything. If something happens. Do a ventilator, shock him if he has heart failure. But I think it's time to change that. Because if he has a heart attack, his heart is so bad, he's not going to last long. If he has respiratory distress, he goes out a ventilator, he'll never be able to talk again. And he won't be around very long anyway. And I think that's one of the differences. Illustrates a difference between Dad and I. If I were in a situation like that, I would want the respirator even if I couldn't talk, because I have other ways to communicate. I mean, give me a typewriter or a computer, something like that, and I could see myself being in the same position as Stephen Hawking. I could function, I think, given the right circumstances like that. Assuming I had enough people who cared enough about what I had to say to do that for me. And that's another question, I suppose. But Dad, he has very limited communications. He's never been a writer or a typer. He's been writing out. This evening he was writing out things, questions. Where am I? What am I doing? What's going on? And he seemed rather paranoid, as he should be. He was constantly afraid that the equipment was failing that he was hooked up to. And I kept telling him, no, Dad, everything's working fine. So he told me that I'm the only one who can explain things to him in a way that he understands. So that puts a huge burden on me to be there. I called a little while ago, talked to the charge nurse who told me that, he's been awake tonight, and they've taken the CPAP mask off a couple of times, but they always had to put it right back on because his oxygen drops so quickly. And if this isn't the end, it's pretty close. And I have to plan his funeral. I might do that tomorrow. I might go and just make sure that they're ready for him. Dad just wanted to do a graveside ceremony. No altar thing, just, no embalming, just bury him in the cheapest coffin we can buy. That's all he wants. I would like to do some kind of a wake, maybe about a month or two after he dies, a memorial. Whether that happens depends on how my finances are after Dad dies, which aren't looking good. I will probably, there's a good chance I'll probably have to move within months, maybe weeks. It depends on how my siblings react. You know, whether it's like, no, we got to sell the house right now. Get out. I don't know if they'll do that or not. But I have to be ready for that possibility. Dog. Norman's 18. He's about 18 years old. He doesn't have long to live, I don't think. But what am I going to do with him if he's still alive, you know, when I have to move out of here? As much as I hate to say it, I might have to have him put down if somebody can't take him, or if I don't find a place to stay where I can take him with me. And likewise with the cats. My white cat Anubis and my orange kitty Apophis. I think Apophis could probably be trained to be a house cat if I had to move into a apartment or something like that. But I think it'd be really difficult with Anubis, who's always been an in and out cat much more than the other one. I think he'd probably go nuts, and I think the first chance he'd get, he'd run outside the door wherever we happen to be. Ideally, find him another place with a yard, but if I could find a place with a yard, why couldn't I just stay here? I don't know. Things to consider. Things to consider. A lot of the next month or two is going to depend, after Dad dies, which I assume is the same thing, going to depend on how the rest of my family, because I think some of them think I've done nothing but steal from Dad, that I've done nothing from Dad. You know, living with Dad is nothing. I've been a bum, I needed to go out and get a job. And that whatever I was doing with Dad, oh, that's nothing, you're just pretending. It had nothing to do with another 14 years of life. But what am I going to do with the rest of my life? The rest of my life. I'm about to become an orphan. An orphan, yeah, the strict definition of orphan is no parents, no living parents. And that's what I'll be. I'll feel like I'll be completely alone because he's really been the only consistent person in my life for a long time. Come and go, other people. Some for a while, some for a little longer. But ultimately they all go. And now Dad's about to go too. That's all.